signs you could have stayed. It's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through colored glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shape my smile.
Today is September 26, 2022. It is 4:24 a.m. I was finishing editing a video for September 22nd, and I think I turned it into two-part. It was supposed 2 videos for the day, but it ended up being 3. The last part I split it into 2 because I had added extra clips and stuff like that. So I wanted to finish with it before I start recording, because I have a couple other days that I need to edit. But anyway, new subscribers, welcome. I have a lot to share with you. I may not record all of my tweets that I have set up for you, but I have the computer to myself. Maybe I'll do some other recording in the middle of the day. All right, so let's go to the first. This is funny. It's somewhere down the line. I bookmarked this, but I'm not gonna go over it right now. It's kind of funny. All right, let's do the first tweet, and I believe it's a thread. And I saw it late last night, but I decided to put it first because it seems very important. All right, so this is not someone that I follow, and when I saw his tweet, I think one of the squaddies retweeted it, and then I started reading it, and I was like, oh, this is very interesting, so let me share it with you. And this tweet was on June 19, 2021, so that's a very old tweet. Okay, let's get started. I've been called in to contain fallout, heal teams when toxic management is exposed. I've interviewed affected staff and gone back to research how bad things were, for how long, advise what needs changing. That's why these latest Meghan Markle, Prince Harry stories seems false. Okay, so he has experience on that. So he's sharing his experience because he's been the one who do the investigation, I'm assuming. Is that what he said? He's been called out and to contain fallout. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. I've never dug into a toxic manager's life and not found consistent examples from the past and at least strong hands of same in the present. Adults don't become insane, unhinged, abusive, bullies, and one job only for a short period and then just stop. Okay? They may become less pleasant under duress, more exacting under pressure, and less than fun to work with while overwhelmed, but that is not what is described here. What's described here is absolutely insane, unhinged, abusive behavior not seen before or after. Also, when I do 360 interviews to piece together the fact, 100% of the time the ones who use vicious, emotional, hateful language full of slur, unrelated personal attacks, and lots of assignment of motives are not reliable witnesses, yet they're front and center here. Okay, so I'm assuming he's making reference to the bullying allegation of Meghan. Okay, but him as a, I guess in reality, because the UK seems to be living in a different universe, but in reality, when he does his own research, when they call him to do investigation about certain bosses and whatever, so whatever they're writing about Meghan doesn't seem to match what his reality have told him. Okay, based on his investigation experiences. Okay, the new book and coverage are full of leaks, royal sources, never say how many, supposed former employees and friends of Williams and Kate describing her, not her behavior, as quote bitch, damaged good, and worse, all casually and text and email decrying her woke agenda. Having done these interviews, reviewing emails, statements, memos, sometimes videos, when the most horrific accounts come from folks who add on personal attacks, emotional slurs, and insult the person's mental faculties and opposite politics again of salt are called for. Yet, this is enough to write a new book and a slur of new stories presented as if they are new, quote, facts, end quote, suddenly uncovered, not strategically shared at this latest date. No account where one is Satan personified while all others are pure, unflawed, saint, heroes is reliable. And yet here we are, as someone who spent a career in crisis communication, messaging, public affairs, and organizational dynamics for corporate and senior government leaders, understand this is an old game, but I've honestly not seen it played as clunkily and unprofessionally, to be honest. Though I doubt there was a cultural clash between an American celebrity and an establishment brand in her own right and royal institutional folks. No, I'm also sure the pressure, depression, suffocation, and pregnancy meant there were hard days for all, but that's not the accusation. The accusation, okay, so he's saying here, when Meghan was pregnant, okay, so you would have assumed maybe what do they call this? Not postpartum, maybe some sort of during the pregnancies, hormonal kind of things is happening where certain pregnant women tends to act, behave in a certain way, but none of the allegation that they're making has nothing to do with that. So that's what he's saying here. Okay, the accusation is unhinged, insane, next level abuse and bullying of sainted, suffering staff that made it somehow okay for some staff and friends to call her a bitch.
The aides really speak quite badly about.
Oh, well, the way that Meghan is spoken about by the people that have had to deal with her is quite frightening.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
pleased she's gone.
Yeah, she's not.
When you say aides, you mean
aides to William and Kate and other members of the royal family. They're pleased.
And a damaged good and mark her agenda openly in emails and texts while not getting her help. Okay, so that's where Meghan was saying she she asked for help, but they didn't give it to her. Okay, also, real talk. I spent my life and a half, my career, around general admirals, senators, senior appointees, secretaries, and CEOs. It's flat impossible that Marco, that's Meghan, was somehow more demanding, dismissive, abusive, and had higher standard than any royal, and he put that somewhat in a quote, they ever served.
Yeah, I think there's another
to here too, that Meghan is a very professional woman, and she's very American in that way. And the male-dominated culture of the royal household doesn't like the kind of terms that they would use there, pushy and pushy American. They don't like pushy Americans, meaning that they don't like professional people who work hard. And a lot of the Debbie kind of girls who get to work inside the palace work from about 9 to 12. And a lot of the Debbie kind of girls who get to work inside the palace work from about 9 to 12 and then take the rest of the day off. And Meghan was very impatient with that. She wanted to see a new work ethic, maybe a work ethic as strong as the Queen's herself.
So take all of this with a heap of salt. No story is this clean, and the tropes are too well aligned with common attacks on powerful women, independent women, black women, and progressive women in the recent era. I'm not claiming she was blameless. I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm claiming from a place of unique experience that the nature, timing, and specific of the most recent round of attacks and revelation don't pass the smell test for people who've actually studied, had to investigate with toxic managers to find out the truth, heal the team. One last thought. Think about Weinstein, Lee Michelle, Matt Lauer, or Ellen when long-hidden true nature is revealed. Stories pour out by the dozen from long-suffering former colleagues and current suffering staffers break their silence. None of that happened here. So he's giving examples of other celebrities where things were, you know, they had a history of things, but Meghan, who doesn't have any. And one of the videos I think I just added where I said they're picking the wrong people to fight. Was it Princess Diana? Did not have any history of this type of abuse that they inflict on her, but they pick a fight with her until, you know, we see where she's at now. And then now they're picking Meghan, whose history is pretty much clean. They pick the wrong person to demonstrate their stupidity, you know, to put blame on, to call her bully and all of that. Okay, so let's continue. One of the reasons I'm taking a break after 20 years in the corporate and government PR spent fixing messaging, crisis management, game, and organizational development work is precisely how messy it is below the surface. I've taken on creative projects since the pandemic, and whew, going to mute this thread now, it's blow up to the point of being overwhelming. I was also starting to engage with trolls, which is always a bad scene. I'm really happy this thread helped educate and inform. Nothing to promote, no follow requests, just be kind to each other. Okay, so I guess he was paying attention to, this is what I'll be saying, the squaddies are pretty diverse and different background and experiences. So this guy who probably been following the bullying allegation, the nonsense that they're putting out there, so based on his experience, he felt the need to write his experience. Based on his experience, this is what usually happen, but this doesn't fly in none of the things he's been doing. So that's that. This is why they didn't put the thing public after they come with the investigation. They didn't make it public. All right, and Meghan is gonna, you know, whenever they decided, you know, if they decided to put a spin to it and then they want to make it public, Meghan is gonna have her lawyers ready. All right, let's see here. Fantastic thread, so professionally written from an expert analysis. Thanks, this is wonderful thread, thank you. And why tag Candace Owen? What you got to do with this? Using one black woman to attack another is so 80s. Okay, where did I, okay, is this the one? Who is that? That's him. Where did he tag the person? I don't know. I don't see any tag. Who's tagging? Did he come someplace else? Oh, let's see here. Did I just see him here? For those wondering, what is a strange weekend? Okay, so I'm done with him. Okay, I saw the thread and I thought it was very interesting. So let's go to the next tweet. Okay, I don't want to waste time trying to find something else that means nothing. Okay, next tweet. More on how royal family quietly exert control over British TV coverage of the royals, complete with WhatsApp groups signing off footage, and now a battle over the historic record. Okay, I'm not gonna read this, but it seems like certain things that had happened during the ceremony Now the clips, they want control of that. I don't know. Let's see here. UK broadcasters battle monarchy over control of Queen's memorial footage. Okay. Palace has said TV channels can only retain an hour of footage from event during the morning period. What? An hour event? So what is that? How do they do that? Okay, I'll click on it. You guys could, I'll put the link in the description. You guys could check it yourself. I don't want to spend time on that. You know, I could read on my own as well, because I have a lot of other things to share with you. There's me here. So are they going to battle with the rest of the world too for the footage? But okay, the bubble they live in. For people like it. Let's see one comment. More like this. I respond to it. Let's go back. Okay, there was another comment I put. Probably they were trying to humiliate them, meaning Harry and Meghan, LOL. Instead, iconic moments after iconic moments after iconic moments. Laughing my ass off. 3 witches staring at an icon. I mean, come on. They think our prayers were for nothing. Okay, whatever they're thinking. Oh, look at this, trying to stop this getting out. Yeah, it's on. I spoke about it in one of my other videos. Alright, so I guess the answer is in the document, the thing that I just the article. I guess the answer is in the article. Alright, so this one was kind of very interesting. I'm gonna have to stop in between, even though it's a TikTok video, but I did listen to it. It's like a history of, you know, he didn't give real name, but he put pictures. Alright, it's the history of the royal family. But let's listen.
Alright, so I done told y'all about Mama T. And we talked about Colton and Connor and their wives Jenny Lynn and Stacy. We covered Roy and Allison's love triangle with that homewrecker Linda, what lives 2 trailers down. We even talked about creepy old Uncle Andy. Now let me tell y'all about Roy and Andy's sister, Shirley. Now, from a young age, Shirley...
So each name that he mentioned, he showed a picture of who they are. So now, it seems like he did a part 1 before. I don't have the part 1. This is the only one that I have. I don't know if I look in the comment section, is there someone gonna post it? But, yeah, let's listen.
She was a horse girl. There wasn't nothing in the world that she loved more than her horses. And she didn't just like horseback riding, she was good at it too. She is a state champion barrel racer and competed in barrel racing tournaments all around the country.
I didn't know that.
In fact, she loved horses so damn much that it wasn't a surprise to nobody when she met her first husband, Scooter, at a barrel racing competition.
Scooter.
Now, it wasn't long after Shirley and Scooter got married that they started having marital problems. They never went out anywhere together or did anything together. In fact, they tried to avoid each other completely, if at all possible. At the end of their marriage, they were both having affairs with other people and ultimately just decided to go ahead and get a divorce. Now, after Shirley and Scooter got a divorce, she went public with her relationship with Jimbo. Now, Shirley was just absolutely smitten with Jimbo. She was over the moon.
Jimbo. The way he said Jimbo the first time is very funny, but let's listen.
And couldn't wait to get married. Until one day she came home and she caught Jimbo in bed with, yeah, you guessed it, yeah, that homewrecker Linda, what lives 2 trailers down from Roy and Allison, and what lives 5 trailers down from Jimbo and Shirley.
Trailer. The location. The trailer park. But let's listen.
Now, Shirley's a proud woman, so she left that no-good rat bastard Jimbo and threw him out on the street like the butt of a Misty Menthol 120. From that point on, Shirley and Linda's beef was on sight. Shirley wasn't afraid to drop everything and just run them hands. Now, this went on for a while until Shirley met her current husband, Skeeter, coincidentally also at a barrel racing competition. Around that same time, Shirley's brother, Roy, ended up marrying that no-good homewrecker Linda, what now lives in the trailer with Roy after he done crawled up under Allison's car with a pair of tin snips.
The way he names stuff is ridiculously funny.
Now, since her brother's done married that no-good bitch that she's got beef with, Mama T told her she has to at least try to be nice. And still to this day, Shirley can't stand that no-good home-wrecking hoe Linda. But Mama T told her if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So Shirley can't bring herself to say nothing more to Linda than bless your heart.
I didn't know all this. I didn't know all these stories. Oh, there's more. Okay, that is another video. I got you. Here it is. Okay, OMG, I'm laughing. The British royal family as trailer park trash. Explain, not Colton and Connor. Let's listen to that part. I didn't know this one was there.
The royal family ain't nothing but another white trash trailer park family. Now hear me out, alright? Every trailer park has a mama.
When he said that, I'm sorry, but no wonder why they get so well acquainted with the other side of Meghan's family. I'm sorry I brought this nonsense into it, but you could see how they align themselves. But let's listen.
Mama T. And Mama T don't do shit except sit around and smoke Misty Menthol 120s and watch The Price is Right all day. But for some reason, everybody always comes to Mama T with their problems, even though she ain't gonna do a damn thing about it.
Diana had hoped to get support from the Queen. She was sorely disappointed. According to the princess, the Queen turned a cold shoulder to her appeal for help.
The princess described an emotional scene inside the walls of Buckingham Palace.
And I was sobbing and I said, what do I do? I'm coming to you, what do I do? And she said, I don't know what you should do. Joel was hopeless. And that was it. That was hell.
Then you got Mama T's favorite grandbabies, Colton and Connor. Now, if you ask Mama T, Colton and Connor can't do no wrong. They both good boys, joined the Army straight out of high school, but they joined for different reasons. Colton wanted to bring honor to his family, and Connor just wanted to get the hell out of the trailer park. And before Connor could get out...
Connor wanted to get out of the trailer trash. Oh my God.
The trailer park, he met his old lady, Stacy. Now, shortly after Connor and Stacy got married, Connor managed to get out of the trailer park, and the rest of his family absolutely hates Stacy for it because they're certain that she had something to do with it. Then you got Colton's wife, Jenny, or Jenny Lynn, who, despite being the favorite daughter-in-law of the family, they still really don't like her. They're just nice to her because she's the one that's around them most often. Then there's Colton and Connor's parents, Roy and Allison. Roy and Allison pretend to be a happy couple with the perfect marriage. But everybody knows that Roy is actually screwing around on Allison with Linda, what lives 2 trailers down. Until one day Roy gets tired of the charade and he goes and asks Mama T for help, and they come up with a plan to cut Allison's brake line so that Roy is free to marry the homewrecker. We can't forget Uncle Andy now. Every white trash trailer park family has that weird, creepy uncle that makes everybody just a little bit uncomfortable, but nobody quite understands why until one day he's accused of some shady shit.
Oh my God. Let me go into that. There he, oh, that's the same one. People just like, man, sums up Kate properly. No one likes her, but she's always there. Jenny Lynn of Wales. He got the whole thing correct 100%. Oh my God. This is why, allegedly, this is why I don't need to be on TikTok. Those squad on TikTok, they'll bring the good stuff on Twitter. Oh my God. Twitter is where everybody come and conjugate. Not only was this hilarious, it was informational. I never knew about Anne and Camila's past. I didn't know either. I may have known some stuff, but nah. Oh my God. That is who Camila married and the father of her children. Now, unless I'm mistaken, Anne also dated Camila's brother. They are one big incest fest. Oh my God. I forgot that Linda got the Shirley boyfriend who she ended up marrying and having 2 children. Oh my God. Had to listen twice. So tampon Queen Camila is a professional homewrecker. Wow, wow, wow. This is gold. I'm deceased. The way that family fits into the trailer park perfectly. Is this true? Either way, it's hilarious. Oh my God. Shirley also dated Linda's first husband because Linda got with him. Later, Shirley even named Linda's first husband as godfather to one of her children. Oh my God. Let me move on. Too much tea. Oh my God. These people. Oh Lord, Lord, Lord. Harry wanted to get out of there for different reasons. Alright, next tweet. anyone else not interested in the latest palace stories from papers or books. Okay. Aside from this one, Met Police interviewed 2 men under caution over King Charles cash for honor probes. Scotland Yard revealed detectives spoke to men in his 50s and men in his 40s. And I think there's some, the FBI is doing some sort of investigation as well as to, I'm surprised I didn't come across it much deeper on Twitter. Only one tweet that sort of mentioned it, but not too deep other stuff. Is that FBI is investigating some Tories. I don't know if they were elected officials or who's part of someone in those offices regarding, I think has to do with Puerto Rico trying to bribe some American politician or something like that. So once I get this under wrap, I probably will put it on a video on my other channel. Okay, so that just remind me of that. Okay, so Met Police interviewed 2 men under caution over King Charles cash for honor probe. Scotland Yard revealed detectives spoke to men in his 50s and men in his 40s. That was September 23rd. Okay, why remind me he is monarch and immune to prosecution? Nope, not bothered one bit. Alright, I've been in UK all month. The media and palace still trashy, cruel and dishonest. It's boring. I'm ready to be back in the USA to consume professional content like archetypes. There's that. I'm just interested in one book only. That's Harry's book. The rest is boring noises. Alright, so let's go. I thought there was more to it, but that's that. Yeah, they're trying to distract people. And I think they threw under the bus for the popularity that the Sussexes were getting, and then to be able to had a plan for Harry. Alright, but Harry didn't fall for that trap. Alright, I wonder what new royal scandal they are trying to cover up by planting this scandal. Last time it was a nun's, then pegging gate. Is it because Charles has been seen being rude to staff and avoid black people in the line to meet him? What now? What is it? Alright, so that's a response to that. And I think I had shared that on my community board. Alright, an anonymous staffer is quoted as saying, quote, every 10 minutes I had to go outside to be screamed at by her and Harry. It was, quote, I can't believe you've done this. You let me down. What were you thinking? The way Charles have been behaving, you're telling me this nonsense? Just, oh, please. Charles grabbing his workers by the throat and all of that, and then, oh, please. Yeah, this is just distraction, just nonsense. Okay, it went on for a couple of hours. I'm not gonna read this, and I think I shared the link on my community board, so I'm not even gonna read that here. Okay, all the above. Okay, the Met repeatedly insists that nobody is above the law, and they police without fear or favor. That's what they're doing. Okay, for their criminal investigation and to allege cash for honor, to have credibility, they will have to interview King Charles III as a witness. Police interviews and King Charles charity honor probe, BBC and whatever. Yeah, we just wait. Don't hold your breath for that result. Okay, it's just gonna shove under the rug. Okay, you know it. Every time there's a big royal scandal, they throw her under the bus. Okay, police interview the King Charles charity honor probe. Alright, so that was the big news, and then they probably, for distraction, they mentioned some nonsense about Meghan. Okay, exactly. These people are ridiculous. They expect us to believe a woman who had a reputation of being nothing but kind and generous to co-workers, staff, and everyone she met for 36 years suddenly turned into a completely different person. 2 men questioned under caution and cash for honor probe linked to King Charles charity. Alright, so that's that. Okay, I was just about to bring this up. Alright, so this is the discussion right now. Next tweet. I want to move quick. Hopefully I could finish with everything. Next tweet. If we are going back to the bullying story, release the investigation outcome. Again, people were in the dark. They didn't know what was the commotion about. So people were guessing if it's about the bullying. Just say it or put the thing out. Alright? It's the reason why they didn't release. They wanted to do just what they are doing now. If they clear her name, like I know the investigation will have, they wouldn't have been able to start the Charlotte bullying narrative. It's a very big injustice what they've done. All right, someone help me to understand. Prince Charles told Harry Meghan wouldn't get a salary, yet the Queen gave Meghan patronage and sent Meghan on tours. 2, Meghan wasn't an employee. She's a woman of color. Can she even sue? That royal family has that old law still in place for minorities. 3, okay, the law they're talking about to be exempt from being yeah, I sort of know. I know what she's talking about, but I don't remember the term they use for it. Okay, and I think Dr. Schuller had used it in one of the videos that I edited yesterday. 3, what's N? No, why was a complaint never filed for a non-employee? Why was a complaint even filed for a non-employee? Okay, so I see what she's saying here. If she wasn't an employee, then why was one filed for her? This kind of thing. This is where they're confusing themselves. They're not following through. Why they're not following? Because they know, like one mentioned here, they're above the law and they don't really set to connect their lies together. They just throw nonsense out there. Okay, let's see here. I also want to know whose recollection may vary. What was the exact comment? What was the context of the conversation? Racist and rude aren't the same thing. Unfortunately, the British royal family are both. Shaking my damn head. Okay, they can still alter that report to either. I think so too. She is right. They can still alter that report to reflect what they want. So that is true. I agree with her. Yep. Okay. They can do it because then they can be sued. They remain vague on facts because they don't want to be sued and deposed. The only thing is that if Meghan's lawyer have a copy of whatever result that they already have, Meghan must have a copy of it. Because remember, when the thing came out, Meghan sent her lawyer. Okay? So they were even mocking her for even sending her lawyer. Can you imagine this? So if they have the result, the lawyer must ask for a copy of it. Now, if Meghan have a copy of that, now whatever they say in the future, Meghan could always say, how come yours don't match mine? This is the thing here. So if Meghan has a copy of the result of it, even though they don't make it public, okay, but in the future, if they decided to bring that bullying investigation thing public again and then they switch it, but Meghan could say, how come what you're saying now doesn't match what I have now? And then one thing they should make sure is to have it certified. Once her lawyer have a copy of the result of it, have the I guess the palace sign it and both parties sign it, and then to say, this is my copy, how come yours is different from mine? This kind of thing. Alright, they can do it because then they can be sued. They remain vague on facts because they don't want to be sued and deposed. Okay, why will an institution that doesn't want to face the 21st century do that? This is the thing, they stuck in the past. They don't want to change. Meanwhile, people are questioning them based on reality, based on advanced way of thinking, but they stuck back in the, I don't know, Stone Age. Okay, exactly. Please, I don't want the outcome of the bullying investigation. I want raw data of the names of the witnesses. If the plan is to investigate, then do that thorough job. And seeing that the firm doesn't like hard work, we may conclude that the investigation was superficial at best. Exactly. Alright, so there's more. Let's move on. So yeah, Meghan must have a copy of whatever result that we, the public, do not know about. And then later on in the future, when they come and say their nonsense, Meghan has her copy. So they can't really alter it. Okay, either go, next tweet, either go on the record or stop lying. No one anonymous sources at this point. Again, this is the article I did not read, and I will be leaving. Is that the one? No, this is something. There's too many articles. That's not the same thing. Oops. Alright, so this is something different, the Daily Beast. Alright, I'll click on it to leave the article for you guys. Alright, I'll leave the article in the description, the link in the description for you. Alright, so let's go back. This is where I was. Okay, it's so obvious now what they're trying to do. Okay, anonymous staffer is quoted as saying, quote, "Every 10 minutes I had to go outside to be screamed at by her and Harry." Now they're putting Harry's name here. It was, quote, "I can't believe you've done this. You let me down. What were you thinking?" It went on for a couple of hours. So there's Harry's name here. I don't know. Okay, exactly. Palace staff used to run to the press and be blatantly anti-American and misogynistic toward Meghan, but left out this claim until right before Oprah Shujan. Okay, it's a minute, exactly a minute. Let's listen.
According to Tatler magazine, Kensington Palace staff are resorting to calling her Meghan.
Okay, so they were calling her that.
They really speak quite badly about.
Oh, well, the way that Meghan is spoken about by the people that have had to deal with her is quite frightening.
Wow, this is crazy. These people, they don't know peace.
The tone that is being expressed against Meghan. Now, has there been a degree of anti-Americanism? Yes. Has there been a degree of misogyny? Not least with this blaming of Meghan for all of it and not having Prince Harry be held responsibility for part? Yes, there has
This
been.
also fed on a suspicion about Meghan, I think. And some people didn't like her American ways. It was a lot about her being American. There was a suspicion.
And then, but they want the American dollars. When they need money, they come here. Well, now they have the Middle East to go to.
Amongst some people, that she was too brash, too American, too Californian, too forward.
So what are these too American, too forward, to this, to that? What is that?
Yeah, I think there's another factor here too, that Meghan is a very professional woman, and she's very American in that way. And the male-dominated culture, the royal household, doesn't like the kind of terms that they would use there, pushy and pushy American. They don't like pushy Americans, meaning that they don't like professional people who work hard. And a lot of the Debbie kind of girls who get to work inside the palace work from about 9 to 12. And a lot of the Debbie kind of girls who get to work inside the palace work from about 9 to 12 and then take the rest of the day off. And Meghan was very impatient with that. She wanted to see a new work ethic, maybe a work ethic as strong as the Queen's herself.
Okay, here's what happened. Okay, it happened, but the story has a little exaggeration. This story came from a guy, the Throne assigned to Meghan as her PA. Meghan wrote a letter to check on her dad and gave him to Mel privately. This guy goes behind her back and leaked the letter to the media when Meghan and Harry, let's see here. Is that a small thread? Okay. When Meghan and Harry found out, they were pissed. Okay. Is it the thing about Jason Kenoff? Jason Kenoff was aware Meghan was writing her dad a letter. And Meghan had explained to Jason Kenoff how this was going to happen. She was going to send it to someone, okay, that, you know, where her name is not going to be on the paper. Okay, on the envelope, so they don't try to intersect it. So it's someone that she trusted. Okay, and she mentioned that to Kenoff. So what they did here, I don't think it's the person who Meghan trusted who went and said those things to, because the thing was sealed. All the person had to do is give it to the father. So what happened here, I believe, in my humble opinion, based on some documents, some stuff that made public, is Jason Kenoff, who knew about that and then probably mentioned it to William.
Have been, as we know, is that the Mail on Sunday had the ruling against them in February, and they were then appealing it. So it was lawyers from the Mail on Sunday who would have approached Jason Knaff, knowing that these emails and messages existed. That would have been the point. And unless, I mean, the most likely outcome is that Jason obviously would have then gone to William and Kate, and clearly he has cooperated. He would not have cooperated with those lawyers without their definite knowledge.
And William, who has connection with the Mail, the newspapers, and took the, you know, used that, and then told the Mail the newspaper that, and the newspaper people sent their people to where is it? There's a picture of Meghan's dad with one of a lady. I believe she writes for one of those newspapers in the UK. And then this is how they probably got the letter. They got it from Meghan's dad, and this is why they thought it was okay. But in reality, okay, due to laws that exist, when someone write a letter, which I did a mini research about that because I was very concerned. I didn't know the answer for that. I thought, okay, once you send a letter, that's it. But no, the law says that once you write a letter, you even if you mail it out, it is your copyright, because this is your copyright. It's private between you and the person. So this is where they thought they could get away with it, because they got it from the father directly. The father gave it to him. I don't know if it was sold or if he just gave it to them freely. I doubt it is freely, but it's directly from the father. Okay, and then the father was willing to go in court. But if you were following back, I believe in 2020, leading up to the final thing, the father was willing to go and testify. Okay, and then this is where Meghan, was pregnant with Lilibet, and she sent her lawyers, and can they do a summary, and they do what they need to do to prove their case, why she win her case, and I guess she proved it, and then that's it. And then they came across, and then they added saying that Jason Kunoff was part of the co-author. And then when we look at it through text messages, they give a small portion of it. This is where the senior royals was helping Mail Online or the Daily Fail with the documents. Okay, a small portion of the letter where Kunoff suggested, okay, give Meghan an idea. Okay, maybe in your letter, maybe you should include this. This was the part that Jason Kunoff suggest to Meghan. Said, okay, we've been trying to reach you. You were not picking up your phone. This and that. I'll be putting the screenshot of these things because I have those stuff. And this is the part that they were trying to use to say Kunoff is part of the co-author. So when Meghan won her case, where now the court wanted to split the winning, not winning, whatever, there's a term for it, when the Daily Mail were supposed to pay Meghan based on certain things, whatever, I can't think of the name. All right, Jason Kunoff was supposed to go to court and to prove his side, why he is the co-author of the letter. Okay, he never showed up because he only suggested. He couldn't prove it. All right, because he will have to tell them what did he write, because on the text message he only suggested to Meghan, maybe you should include that. And then in response to Jason Kunoff, okay, Meghan said, oh, that is a good idea, I will insert it, or I will revise some form like that. Okay, so everything is Meghan. So I'm a little bit lost, because I'm always talking about this because I have a copy of it. All right, let's see here. Found out. Okay, when Meghan and Harry found out, they were pissed. When Meghan wants to talk, they use the quote. And royalty, we don't do that here. And quote line, his excuse was Meghan is supposed to know that her letter might get leaked. Okay, next thing, because Meghan doesn't want him to work for her, he accuses her of bullying. So was it Kunoff who suggests that? Okay, I do not know. Okay, this part I'm not aware. Who was the person who said Meghan was bullying? I don't know.
Royal household, about someone who was, at the time at least, a very senior member of the royal family. Meghan was married to the sixth in line to the throne. And, this is very serious indeed. But one other thing that I've learned is that whilst this bullying claim was submitted by their then chief communications officer, the head of comms at Kensington Palace, the staff involved didn't know that had been submitted, and when they found out, they asked for it to be rescinded. So we've got quite a difficult story here about a bullying complaint.
The allegations of bullying that Meghan faced in the workplace, in the royal workplace at the palace, somewhat complex, because We talk about allegations and accusations. We've heard the word bullying thrown around. In fact, even the palace put that on a press statement when they announced they were launching an internal investigation. What we haven't heard are any examples or anecdotes to back up these claims. And, you know, when we spoke to many of the sources that helped us throughout this book, people who are for and some who are even not particularly on the side of the Sussexes, no one was able to give any information that supported or backed up those claims of bullying. And when we dug into it even further, we found out that the individual who had made the claims of bullying in the workplace at the palace, the individual who had made the claim of bullying in the workplace at the palace was sort of speaking on behalf of a few others in the workplace. This was a concerned boss. He was their private secretary to the couple and to William and Kate, who had written to the Human Resources Department to air his concerns over how staff were feeling. Now, what we detail in the book, and I've already gone into detail with in the past as well, was that two of these individuals, when they heard that that complaint was made, immediately went to their boss and asked for the information to be rescinded. They wanted to take back any allegations of bullying. So that leaves a few question marks over what these bullying allegations are. We've yet to hear actually what happened. No one's come forward with that information. And the palace say that the investigation continues. We may not hear anything until next year.
So it seems like it's suggesting it was Knopf. So I'm not aware of that. So I do not know this part as a fact. Okay. He said, Sam, quote, and royalty line, and quote, Meghan has no power to fire her as he was appointed by the throne. After everything, the guy was, I think he just wanted to be the middleman between Harry and Meghan. Between you know, the Sussexes and the Cambridges, so he could let the other one know what is happening. All right, let's see here. Meghan has no power to fire her as he was appointed by the throne. After everything, the guy was appointed to the service of Prince William and Catherine. They even promoted him. Okay, so that's probably enough. This tells a lot about what these people accuse her had in mind. Okay, let's see here. Yes, yeah, no. When that many people say it happened another way, I believe them. You have no proof it happened any other way. Good try. Okay, for someone who in her history does not have any bullying claim, for all of a sudden to all of this accusation, when the palace on the other hand have a consistent record of doing those type of things. So you tell me.
Prince Charles also has a legendary temper, as his staff know to their cost.
Charles and Ken Stark were away for a weekend with friends, staying at a friend's house, and Charles was trying to put his own collar studs in, which he doesn't normally do for his formal shirt. And he dropped one of the studs, and it sort of bounced around the sink and went down the plug hole. Charles was in a fury, just ripped the sink from the wall, threw it to the floor, shattered it into 1,000 pieces, retrieved the stud, and Ken had to put it in. And then when Ken had put it in, Charles grabbed him by the throat. Well, they said, "You do understand, Ken, I just have to let this out."
My wish is that my husband finds peace of mind, and from that follows other things, yes. My wish is that my husband finds peace of mind, and from that follows other things, yes. My wish is that my husband finds peace of mind, and from that follows other things, yes.
Prince Charles expected his butler to keep visits to Camilla a secret from the princess.
Paul just turned around to him and said, "Well, are you expecting me to lie for you, Your Royal Highness?" And Prince Charles said, "Well, yes. Yes, I am." And went into this histrionics about being the King of England, the future King of England, the Prince of Wales, and you will lie, stamping his feet, and then threw this book in Paul's direction.
My wish is that my husband finds peace of mind, and from that follows other things, yes.
I just had to put, is it September 12th?
13th, sir.
Oh God, in the wrong date. 13?
Yes, sir.
You saw 12:30.
We don't know which one. There's something 10. Oh, God, I hate this. Oh, God, I hate this.
Oh, look, it's going everywhere. Hang on. Has anybody got trouble?
My wish is that my husband finds peace of mind. And from that follows other things, yes.
Alright, so there's that. Okay, she should have called him, still should, unless the whole family are co-conspirator. I think so too. I think the family is a co-conspirator. Alright, there's all of this. Actually, there was no way to stop Thomas Markle once the British media had him. He was on front page buying toilet seats as his new throne to saying this, to sniff cocaine. The coverage pre-wedding was cover to cover. Thomas Markle for days before wedding. It's rather sad. Yeah. There's no coming back. When you hear those Karens are saying, oh, Meghan should do this. Meghan was trying to amend with him before the wedding, but he came and said the whole plan was to mess up the wedding.
That may have been one of the things that upset her. And of course, the photographs were a setup. I was set up by a guy named Jeff Rayner and another guy named Dylan Howard, who was with American media, I think. And the whole thing was a plan to actually mess up the wedding.
He told them, and then they cut him off. They don't have him back in anymore. Ever since then, I never come across a clip of him talking to the media. They cut him off.
It was an unfiltered interview with Thomas Markle. In retrospect, maybe we should have put a filter on him.
Exactly. We don't have a dump button, do we?
No.
No.
We need one now, I think. Yeah.
He released the plan. The plan was to mess up the wedding. But thank God, I believe Harry and Meghan, before all the shenanigans, before anybody knew of their courtship, they already had something. They said to themselves, if this happened, we'll do that. And then come to find out, knowing what Meghan knows about her side of the family, Harry, who definitely know his side of the family, seal the deal way before everybody else know. Let's see here. This is something I've been saying for a very long time about Harry and Meghan, who had their little discussion way before everybody knew about their courtship. And come to think of it, now, knowing what we know now, especially after the Oprah interview, is that Meghan had said that before the big spectacle wedding, they did their small little ceremony privately, just the three of them.
3 days before our wedding, we got married. No one knows that, but we called the Archbishop and we just said, look, this spectacle is for the world, but we want our union between us. So like the vows that we have framed in our room are just the two of us in our backyard with the Archbishop of Canterbury, and that was the piece that...
Just the three of us.
Just the three of us.
So maybe this is one of those things that I was seeing. I don't know. So I just want to throw that out. Not that I have a crystal ball in my hand or anything like that, but this is something that I've been saying way before the Oprah interview, that before the whole world knew about their courtship, about them seeing each other. So there was something that they sealed, or some sort of a words that they said to each other that pretty much, sealed the deal for both of them. So I just want to bring that up. If you understand how a classic society works, you understand how powerful a tool Thomas Markle was for the media and getting people to hate her. It wouldn't have mattered even if he had good to say. She would be judged by his action and made an outsider. Yeah, they did everything they did to stop everything. But thank God, Harry, the two people that were meant to be understood each other. That was Harry and Meghan, and thank God, and they did what they needed to do to get the Queen approve it and then get it done, and then they stay on good terms with the Queen until she passed. Everything else is just noise. Alright, so the bullying part, who accused Meghan of the bullying, I do not know. I know what I just read, and what I assume was Okay, I don't know for a fact, but the other things I'm aware because I have not hard copy, but I have a copy, electronic copy of the things that I was saying. Next tweet. If the result of the bullying investigation actually made Meghan look bad, they would have released it instead of burying it. It was Meghan who wanted it released. Does anyone actually believe that they will have buried it in order to protect her? Exactly. Why? Absolutely not. And if they're going to keep spouting off and embellishing this bullying claim BS, they need to either name names or stop and admit they made it all up enough. And the other thing too, with Kunoff, I mean, if his name come out on some stuff and then he continue his nonsense, I think Meghan could, I don't know, in some shape or form could personally sue him for things that he has done. Okay, for all, you know what, let me stop. Let me leave that. Meghan have her lawyers, they know what to do. Okay, as soon as they said they won't publish the result, I knew why they choose not to. This is exactly why. They wanted to keep going back to bullying as a smear strategy. Even Charlotte bullying allegation wouldn't have been possible if they clear Meghan's name. I don't know. After what she went through, unless if they continue in that, she probably will have to do something, go to court and say they need this to make public and stop this shenanigan. Oh, she just block it. I don't know. No way in hell. The way they are rehashing this is because they know the result of the investigation are buried and there is a little risk that they will be exposed. Nothing the cook up against the Sussexes is gaining traction. So it's back to the bullying lie. Okay, yeah, I see what he's saying here. Look at the amount of nonsense they put during the funeral. It just hit a wall. It's one after another. Well, the nonsense they keep on spewing. I've shared all of this. Some of them don't even come out yet because YouTube is holding. YouTube don't like my channel. But if you look at them and the number, okay, the episode numbers, all right, season and episode number, you know, at least you could arrange it. But they're not coming out live in the way that I want them to, because many of them, I'll show you right now, many of them are being held. I mean, I could release them. These I have planned for them. Even if they don't approve them, you see all of these yellow, that means I cannot make money. They're purposely doing that. They say, if you're gonna release this, because they can charge me with copyright because they're not copyrighted. All right, so they get saying here, this is what YouTube is telling me. Okay, if you're gonna make money, if you're gonna make this public, you're not gonna make money off of them. All right, so this is why they still like that. All right, look at all the other one. They already been, you know, and some of them I'm gonna put for members only. Which one? 298. Oh shit, it made public. It was supposed to release together, but I'll do that later. But yeah, where was I? Okay, and it, okay, let's see here. Yeah, regarding them smearing her name, nothing really hit the wall, just fall flat. Nobody was buying it. As a matter of fact, it opens more people's eyes. Okay, and it also means she can't clear her name. It will always be hanging over her. That's the whole point. I sue them to issue the name and of the people I've bullied and make concrete accusation I can defend myself against, because this is pure defamation of character. Yeah, I think at some point, I don't know, her lawyers will know what to do with that. Sue who though? All UK reporters? I don't think legally she can sue anyone. There are well, she could go directly to the source. The source is the sovereign. Okay, they have the paper. All right, they have the paper. They have to make. If I don't know, if Charles wants to, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. These people don't know how to live in peace. They just want distraction because they're doing a lot of shady thing, and this is why they're doing it. All right, they're good at it, and he's not really worrying about it because, meaning the sovereign, because he has his mouthpiece doing the work for him. But if you want to stop all of this, is cut it at the neck, the snake at the neck, to stop all this BS. Is go straight to the BS, to the snake, and cut it. Where is the who can release the bullying thing? The sovereign. Okay, this is where Meghan needs to go. Forget all the mouthpiece or whatever. Go straight to the sovereign. or maybe not even trying, because her name is being spilled all over the world. Go somewhere where international. Don't even go to the UK thing. Go to the international court and say, I don't know, is there an international court? I don't know. When I'm editing, I'll look for that. All right. Say, look, it's being spilled all over and they're not doing anything about it. My name is being smearing left and right. All right. Because, you know, in the UK, Charles have those people at his grasp.
Meghan and Harry love story is a terrific story. It has unlimited fairy tale appeal.
What did you study at college?
I double majored theater and international relations, and then I went and worked for the U.S. Embassy for a bit. I double majored theater and international relations. International relations.
International relations. International relations.
Not only was I not being protected, but that they were willing to lie to protect other members of the family. But they weren't willing to tell the truth to protect me and my husband.
This morning, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, revealing for the first time that she suffered a miscarriage this summer.
What did you study at college?
I double majored theater and international relations, and then I went and worked for the U.S. Embassy for a bit.
Do you see any scenario by which Harry and Meghan overshadow Kate and
Oh,
William?
yes, I do. I do. I mean, this is immediately was my first thought. You know, this could be a problem. You know, this could be a problem.
Suffered, do everything you can to make sure that whatever experiences negative experiences that you had, that you can make it right for your kids. We chose to put our mental health first. That's what we're doing, and that's what we will continue to do. And this is all about making sure that history doesn't repeat itself. That whatever pain and suffering has happened to you that you don't pass on. That whatever pain and suffering has happened to you that you don't pass on.
The campaign was, in that point, was being successful. But it did surprise the people who were causing the grief. It did surprise them when I took myself out of the game. They hadn't expected that. And I'm a great believer that you should always confuse the enemy.
Who was the enemy?
Well, the enemy was my husband's department, because I always got more publicity. My work was discussed much more than him, and you know, from that point of view, I understand it. But I was doing good things, and I wanted to do good things. I was never going to hurt anyone. I was never going to let anyone down.
But you really believe that it was out of jealousy that they wanted to undermine you?
I think it was out of fear.
Yes, it's me. And you guys are angry about it. Oh my God, I make y'all feel that. Well, this will not take long. Well, I just wanted to pop up here and show y'all how I'm doing.
Because here was a strong woman doing her bit.
Right, you know. I'm over here very booked and busy, while you bitches over here are still looking raggedy and not doing shit. Wow.
And where was she getting her strength from?
No, I'm not going anywhere.
To continue.
You shitholes. You can't defeat a bad bitch. You just cannot do that. I rise above that. Ew. So I just wanted to say, hey. And that I'm here to stay. And you're gonna be mad every day. Success.
Which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
But I was portrayed in the media at that time, if I remember rightly, as someone, because I hadn't passed any O-levels and taken any A-levels, I was stupid. And I made the grave mistake once of saying to a child I was thick as a plank in order to ease the child's nervousness, of which it did. But that headline went all around the world. That headline went all around the world. And I rather regret saying it.
Do you really believe that a campaign was being waged against you?
Yes, I did, absolutely. Yeah.
What did he think of your interests?
Well, I don't think I was allowed to have any. I think that I've always been the 18-year-old girl he got engaged to, so I don't think I've been given any credit for growth. And my goodness, I've had to grow.
Which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
And I supported it.
It was not your idea?
No, not at all. I come from a divorced background, and I didn't want to go into that one again.
Which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
Do you think the Prince of Wales will ever be king?
I don't think any of us know the answer to that. And obviously it's a question that's in everybody's head. But who knows? Who knows what fate will produce? Who knows what circumstances will provoke?
But you would know him better than most people. Do you think he would wish to be king?
There was always conflict on that subject with him when we discussed it. And I understood that conflict because it's a very demanding role, being Prince of Wales, but it's equally a more demanding role being king. And being Prince of Wales produces more freedom now, and being king would be a little bit more suffocating. And because I know the character...
Which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
And because I know the character...
I just had to put, is it September the 12th?
13th, sir.
Oh God.
I would think that the top job, as I call it,
13.
would bring enormous limitations to him. And I don't know whether he could adapt to that.
Oh God, I hate this.
And I don't know whether he could adapt to that. My wish is that my husband finds peace of mind. And from that follows other things, yes.
I do. I mean, this is immediately was my first thought. You know, this could be a problem.
Now everything is coming together. Now do you understand why I said saying yes to Harry to marry Meghan? That was their biggest mistake. Because they do not know how to stop. So let's see how that goes. Alright, so this is where she needs to go. Forget the, like she said, you can't sue all of the reporters. Maybe she could if she can. I don't know. Alright, because they know they could get away with it because they're the mouthpiece for who? The head of the snake. Alright, all UK reporters, I don't think. Legally, she can sue anyone. 1, there are no specific allegation. 2, no names named. 3, so many reporters have run with the story. It would be impossible at this point to find out culprit what was responsible. Alright, find one culprit that was responsible. She could sue the real source, the royal family. Exactly, that's exactly that, the royal family. And I'm positive that she has receipt proving they started all. But that would be an international disaster. It'll never happen. You see, she was thinking the same way I was thinking. That's exactly that. The source, the royal family. Okay, the sovereign. That's where she has to go. They need to release the names of royal staff that said she was bullying them and specific type of bullying done, each account of what they say happened and what she said and who are the witness. Till she has this information, she will not be able to defend herself. That's right. That's exactly that. Okay, it is laughable that she is supposed to be a bigger bully than Charles. Anne and Andrew, I guess a biracial woman having some professional standard is considered bullying. Okay, to date, they have shown that they will do anything to expose her, including make up lies if they, why she keep on missing the why, if they have to. And this bullying story is a lie straight from hell. Alright, that long thread that I read from this other person, I think this is why. I'm glad I put it first, where this person was saying, you know, these things don't match up. Because Meghan doesn't have a history. Based on his experience, Meghan doesn't have a history to fit into the mold that they're trying to cast her. I'm telling you, he's digging his own grave for picking a fight for two women, okay? 2 women he's picking a fight with whose background were perfectly clean. 2 women, he picked the wrong women. This time, the first one he got away with it. The second time, the whole world is watching and they're seeing going real time. So he's picking the wrong battle, and I think this one is to end his nonsense. Alright, that he waited all his life for. Instead of leaving it alone, focus on your work, but no. Okay, the royals made it perfectly clear these past 2 weeks, with the eyes of the world upon them, that the last thing they'll do is protect Meghan or Harry. Also, the timing is interesting. Just 4 days after the funeral, still in the period of mourning, and this. Okay, 2 men question under caution, and cash for honor probe linked to King Charles charity. Okay, that's that. They're trying to distract people from that. But if he keeps on doing that, he might have another problem in his head. If Meghan decided, I'm telling you, if Meghan decided to pursue that bullying thing that they still, dragging her into, she thought, she decided to be the bigger person and said, okay, I'll leave it alone since you don't want to make it public. Okay, but they lingering this thing further. And I think once they find the part where she could win, they're probably working on that. Once they find the part where she could win in court, there's no turning back. You see with I don't know, these motherfuckers they don't learn from shit. You would have think the amount of abuse she went to win her copyright case, you would have think they will learn from that part. It's just happened. It's just happened. I'll leave her alone. But they're lingering that bullying thing, and then she literally, become the bigger person. I'll say, all right, you trash my name for years with this bullying thing, and then you have the result, you decide to bury it. Okay, I'll be the better person and walk away. And now you're bringing it back up again. This bothering Meghan with this might be even worse than the cash for honor, because the cash for honor, he has his people who could bury that. Okay? But Meghan will not stop until she get what she want to clear her name, if she decided to go after it. I'm telling you, this one bothering Meghan with the bullying thing, it's worse than the cash for honor, because Meghan is not going to stop until she find the source of why you keep on bothering her with it. When you know, they both know. I'm pretty sure Meghan has a copy of it, and Charles have a copy of it. She knows, and both of them knows there's no bullying. And it's worse for him. Why would he bring it back up? He never learned. Okay, I don't believe there was ever an investigation. It was just a ruse to detract from their interview. Well, let's see. Meghan had her lawyer and stuff like that. So I'm just going to leave it as is, but because her lawyer spoke about it.
Those stories were false.
The Duchess's lawyer spoke to me with Meghan's permission.
This narrative that no one could work for the Duchess of Sussex, that she was too difficult at demanding a boss, and that everyone had to leave. It's just not true.
How accurate or inaccurate were those stories about her treatment of staff in 2018?
Okay, Work recently had a bullying investigation. I wasn't caught in it, but I was present at one of the incidents, and all I saw was fair feedback. The investigation ended with HR making everyone go to a lecture about what isn't bullying. I suspect this turned out similarly. Okay, I was called as a witness for a bullying complaint. Ironically, my take on the conversation completely supported the staff member. Okay, I don't know. What are they talking about? Is it the Meghan stuff? Okay, 100% they will have released it. They never protected Meghan, so why will they start now? They buried because neither A, it shows that all accusations are false, which we know they are, or B, no bullying investigation or report exists, as they know Meghan did nothing more. Alright, more after these two, that's it. More importantly, was there an investigation to be buried? I don't think so, unless they prove otherwise, and I still wouldn't believe them. After the treatment given to Meghan over the 10 days of mourning, these people cannot be trusted. No, but whatever it says, they did not want to agree with Schilling's request to see the claims and evidence. Alright, so there's the part. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. More comment, but let's move on. Okay, that excerpt from Valentine Low books is actually hilarious. The overwhelming message is, quote, the courtiers leaked constantly that Meghan was paranoid about people leaking about her. What in the name? End quote. Okay, quote, Meghan then appreciated when lazy and competent staffers did their job poorly. End quote, is also doing a lot of work. Meghan felt like she was being racially abused, racist abusers claim. Lord, some of these responses or why I usually don't tweet about royal stuff on Saturday. A different breed of racist dumbass. My goodness. What is that? I'm just waiting on a statement from the Sussexes team. I think everything will make sense once they respond. The Sussexes don't respond to nonsense. Okay, that's still about the bullying thing, but let's move on. All right, I'm almost an hour. All right, the snore. You know, my goodness, our sis was going through hell over there. This is another caption of it. When she was looking at her in a stare, oh my goodness, oh my. The squad or something, they have to turn this into something we could laugh about. All they need is a giant cauldron brewing in front of them. Complete the look. Wow, wow, wow. Can someone make that happen with a Photoshop? Alright, couldn't have said it better. Number 3 is the shore live. Every sailor agrees. Kate is a dime store. Okay. Store Alexis Carrington and this ridiculous get up. Alright, so that's from the dynasty thing. Alright, let me move on. When I see these starting to fall out, knowing that I have more important tweets to share with you, I don't want to stay too long. Alright, next tweet. Thank God for common sense. I remember sharing this on my community board. Alright, this is someone who's not a tweet, who's not a squatty. But God, highly unlikely that a woman who grew up in the US under modest means will treat staff this way. Okay, will treat staff this way. It sounds fabricated and like something rich, snobby, high society people will do. Not a girl who grew up in LA volunteering at soup kitchens on Skid Row. Please, enough. All right, so this is where common sense starting to wake up. I need to wake up my son. All right, let's see here. I think everyone knows it's BS and all they're doing is exposing themselves. The people who claim to believe the allegation are more hoping their protestation convince others who have no good reason to dislike her like they do. It's a persuasion campaign. That's a very good way of looking at it. It's a persuasion campaign. Okay, for instance, let's see here. Join us in celebrating our former employee Meghan Markle and her wedding to Prince Harry at Humphreys with some strawberry plus peanut butter frozen yogurt. This royal combination is available all day Saturday. Alright, that was a promotional thing. One of the part. Okay, you could freeze that. Humphrey yogurt was where Meghan used to work when she was a teen. Alright, they completely disregarded that. Unlike KKK, oh, she's responding this. Who grew up in modest mean that. That's to this. Respond to this. Alright. They completely disregarded that. Unlike KKK, Meghan had at least 20 years of work history prior to meeting Harry, and that she worked in one of the most brutally competitive industry in the world. That's acting, because there's a lot of actors who's looking for gigs. Okay, if she bullied staff, a word would have long gotten out. They didn't think this too. She was criticized originally for hugging staffers and not letting them bow or courtesy to her. What? They were complaining about that? So yeah, I think they really did hate her for being nice or different, and now must spread lies because sharing the truth wasn't actually them name for Meghan. Okay, there was also a story how she surprised staff with some kind of a treat. Note, you will no longer find out of those stories among their current narratives. Alright, Catherine Hegel, Lee Michael, Just Werden, all examples of how Hollywood talks. If Duchess Meghan display any of their behavior, she will have never been on suit for 7 years, much less been the face of so many organizations promoting women's health and well-being. That's right. Look at the thing with Johnny Depp. The minute they start hearing stuff, allegation about him, you know, they drop him like a hot potato. Until he had to clear his name, he had to go to court. Alright, especially being a woman of color, we can get away with the same sort of behavior that's okay for white women. Alright, King Charles III has the power and influence to make all of this stuff. It's damning that he won't. He doesn't know any different, because from what I'm seeing, he is being under investigation. Alright, so there's more comment. Let's move on. So their nonsense is not working. This is what happened. They abuse it so much. It's not working anymore. Alright, Next tweet. Next time Angela Levine pipes up, remember that a nurse told her that Jimmy Savile was abusing disabled children and she kept quiet and didn't pass it on to the investigation team. All right, this is 1 minute and 1 second.
That a nurse tells you that Jimmy Savile comes to visit her hospital and he molests disabled girls, right? Which is sort of that's what she told you, is that right? And then you then feed that back to the investigations team or some senior people at the Mail, and they go to work attempting to substantiate that. And he's caught, and then maybe even hundreds of victims are prevented from ever being molested.
Wow. She knows all of that. She didn't say anything. Oh my God. Baggage for God. Baggage for God.
It's not a scenario that ever happened. I don't think I went back and told the investigations team.
No, but I'm saying if you'd sort of blown the whistle.
Blame this on me.
No, I'm just trying.
Well, if you had, maybe the outcome would have been different, or maybe 1 or 2 children would not be a victim of this guy. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know how I feel about when these adults are taking advantage. Baggage for God for sure. All right, let me rewind it slightly.
But I'm saying if you'd sort of blown the whistle.
Blame this on me.
No, I'm just trying to.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to, in a sense,
I mean, I think there are lots
see
of
if there's
people.
more we could have done. You know, we as a society are attempting to learn.
And doing all of this for these freaking medals. Look at, he's dead now. Where is the medal? Did he take it with him? Morality does not speak for these people. Oh my God.
From what's happened.
Yes, I think you mustn't be overwhelmed by someone's fame, and I think nobody is in the same way. You know, he was very, very famous. He had very, very good connections.
But at least you be one of the needle in the haystack to tell the story. Maybe another needle in the haystack might come out. Eventually, it'll become a huge pile of its own. People will know. But keeping it to yourself and not saying it, and then other children get abused. Okay. I did see the thing on was that on Netflix. I did see the documentary of him. Okay, yet GMB, Sky News, Jeremy Vine, okay, continue to give this pedo enabler a platform to spill her bile. Okay, at the time she was a journalist for the Daily Mail. Go figure. Okay, the woman has absolutely no shame or integrity. Thus is another example how far she will go. Allegedly stole Newsweek's transcript to write a book. Oh, was it the one? She the one who did the same thing? A few minutes. A 15-minute with Prince Harry. She write a book about Harry's life, and then all of a sudden she's claiming she knows Harry. Okay, I'll share what Kensington Palace official told me at the time. Through Newsweek, Levine was giving access to official engagement and chat with Harry. So that was that. And chat with Harry for a 2017 cover. Then without permission, she turned that material into a book. Harry was crushed and his team were furious. Yeah, that was the same thing I was making reference to. Wow. Okay, is she not ashamed? I don't think so. Okay, this is the same woman working for the royal family closely with Camilla, the same woman who defends Prince Andrew and attack Meghan daily. All peas in a pod. Okay, another moral bankrupt royal expert, just the kind that the royal family loves. Okay, there's this about her mom. All right, so that's that. I'm exactly an hour. Let's do a prayer. All right, prayer for. Let's do. Pray for morality, morality, because I think we need that. All right, we lack of that. Our society is lack of that. All right, let's pick something here. Let's pick this one. Okay, opening prayer. Father, you have made the bond of marriage a holy mystery, a symbol of Christ's love for his church. Hear our prayers for Harry and Meghan. With faith in you and each other, they pledge their love today. May their lives always bear witness to the reality of that love. I think, okay, let's leave that. Alright, that's it. So please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. And that's it. Maybe later on I'll do another video part 2. All right, because I have more to share with you. Okay. Okay, that's all. I was just wanted to know if it's you, so I don't have to get up and go wake you up. Okay.
For me, it's an added member of the family. It's another team player as part of the bigger team. And you know, for all of us, all we want to do is be able to carry out the right engagements, carry out our work, and try and encourage others and the younger generation to be able to see the world in the correct sense, rather than perhaps having a distorted view.